On today's episode, we're going to talk about former Bengals tight end C.J. Uzomah and some of the comments he's been making that have been making the rounds in the media lately. And we're also going to talk about a lot of the reaction of Bengals fans to those comments. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Way of the Dad podcast, where we fearlessly dive into the depths of dadness. If you like what you are hearing, please share the podcast and give it a review on the platform where you listen. Thank you.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. This is another driving rant, whatever you want to call it. I still haven't come up with a name yet. But so today I just want to cover something real quick. I don't know that I'm going to get too terribly wordy about it because I kind of have a very clear opinion on this. But suffice to say that many Bengals fans' feathers have been ruffled lately with some of the comments by C.J. Uzomah in reference to his new team, the New York Jets. And I understand a lot of the feelings that I'm seeing on Facebook and Twitter and whatever else. So if you're not aware, C.J. Uzomah, two big stories, I guess if you want to call it that, that have been circling around lately. I guess C.J. Uzomah made some comments about how he hasn't seen this kind of young talent or this much young talent or whatever. Basically talking about how excited he is to work with all the new young players up in the Jets. And, of course, they did have a bunch of draft picks, and they had a pretty active free agency. And then the other one that gets a lot of play right now is the comment that apparently he made talking about Zach Wilson, who is his quarterback up there, talking about how he's talented as heck. I think that is a direct quote. It's close. I don't think I'm paraphrasing too much if I didn't hit it on the money. I'm obviously not looking at the article right now since I am doing a driving rant. That would not be a good idea, right? So, I have an opinion on this. I think it's a fairly straightforward and simple one. And it goes a little something like this. Who cares? That's my first thought that comes to mind when I've been seeing these articles that have been circulating around a little bit. Football is a team sport. You really do need to be a good teammate no matter what jersey you wore last season, whether it's the same one or a different one. It doesn't really matter at all. You have to be a good teammate. Your people around you need to know you are bought into this team, this culture, this whatever. Whether you are or not, it's irrelevant. For the team game to work, you have to be able to be as bought in as humanly possible. And of course, one of the easiest and best ways to talk about to do that is to talk good about your teammates. That's like teamwork, football team building 101. This is like the most basic stuff there is. Everybody's going to say good things about their team, especially in mini camps, voluntary workouts, OTAs, training camp. In the NFL, hope springs eternal every single offseason. Every team thinks they are a Super Bowl contender. Of course they do. They're supposed to. So I don't know that I care what he says. CJ Uzomah's not on this team anymore. He's not on the Bengals. He signed somewhere else. Reports are that he signed with the Jets for not a lot more money than what the Bengals were offering. And, I may, as a fan, I wish he hadn't chased what I gather to be, relatively speaking, on the scale of millions of dollars, what I gather to be a relatively small amount of extra money. Of course, we'll never know. We were never in those contract negotiations. Rumors are it was for a small... he signed with the Jets, and the difference between the Bengals contract and the Jets contract was not a very big gap at all. But even if maybe it was a bigger gap than we know, even still, from a business side, I understand, because he probably knows this might be his last contract. He is not a top-flight, elite talent tight end. He is a good tight end. He's a good team player. He's an excellent team guy. And maybe some of the money he got was from that, because everybody knows he's a legit team guy. Hard worker, and, of course, obviously fairly effective on the field. He's not Jason Witten. He's not Rob Gronkowski, but he's effective, and he's sure-handed. So, okay. Problem is I don't know that he's going to get a chance to make that kind of money again, and I imagine that went into his thinking when he made the decision to go to the Jets. I don't think he went to the Jets. I don't know if he'd ever admit this, but I don't think he went to the Jets thinking, obviously, they're going to the Super Bowl next, so I'm going to jump off this former Super Bowl appearing team, lily pad, to this new next Super Bowl team, lily pad. Whatever. I'm using a frog analogy. I don't know why. So, I imagine it had to do with the money. I imagine it had to do with maximizing his potential contract and value, maybe even getting a short enough contract that he'd be able to hit the market one more time as long as he can produce for the next... I think his contract was 3 years. Again, I don't know for sure, because once he left the Bengals, I didn't wish anything bad upon him, but I also didn't care as much about what he said, did, or whatever. And as long as he doesn't do it against us, I'm perfectly fine with that. We'll get a chance. If I remember correctly, we're playing the Jets this year. So, we'll get a chance to, let him know if he made the right decision or not. And hopefully we don't do like last year and, come out flat and look pathetic against some backup quarterback who's never thrown NFL passes in his life. Come on. So, but all that being said, the other thought I have is, oh wait, it's the same thought. Who cares? And why do we bother? There are so many Bengals fans out there, and I'm not trying to be directly mean, but at the same time, there's a lot of Bengals fans out there that sound like jilted lovers. They act like he stabbed them in the back. Players will come and go. It is a guarantee. Unfortunately, sometimes players we really like will come and go. They do. This happens all the time. And the Bengals felt like, quite frankly, this is what we value him at. He didn't agree. He found someone who valued him, apparently, according to reports, just a little bit more. And he took just a little bit more instead of staying with the team that was all in to all metrics that I can see. And I'm trying to be as honest as I can, considering I am a Bengals fan. The Bengals look like they're on the up. We'll see. Obviously, the upcoming season will really tell the truth about that. But everything they've done has more than satisfied a lot of the concerns I had from last year. Of course, every team is trying to get better in the offseason. So we'll see how that plays on the field. But on paper, they sure did what they should have done. They addressed the line. They went heavy in the defense in the draft. So, me personally, it kind of looks bad on us as Bengals fans a little bit when we're really giving a lot of grief to someone who's literally doing their job at the moment. That is his job right now. His job consists of basically two things. 50% of his job right now is training and getting ready for maintaining his body in the off-season conditioning program and getting ready to hit the ground running in training camp on day one. The other 50% of his job right now is to say smart things and team-friendly things when he's got a camera or a microphone shoved in his face. So I don't know what you think you should say. Of course, you should talk about your quarterback, whoever he may be, like they're really good, or they're on the up, or they're underrated, or they're the greatest quarterback ever, or whatever. Without quite lying, you should say nice things about your quarterback, because that's the delivery man. That's the one who's delivering you the ball. And when you're a tight end or a wide receiver, that's the only way you get the ball. So that person better like you, and you better have a good relationship with that quarterback, with that delivery person. Delivery man's got to like you. So that's pretty obvious, right? And then as far as other things, again, team sport. Of course, he's going to say nice things about his team and the young talent they've got there and blah, 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 blah. Feeling good about the season coming up, feeling strong. Everybody does. Have you ever heard anybody say, man, we're going to suck this year? This team is going straight to the first pick overall. We're going straight to the bottom, to the basement, baby. We're going 0-16. You ever heard anybody say that? No, you don't. You never do. Go check all the recordings of all the Lions off-season for all the previous 20, 25, 30 years. So hell, stay in-house. Go to all the Bengals, all the off-season interviews of the teams from the 90s, and see what they said about the team coming up that coming year. Oh, they thought they were turning it around. They were going to get better. We all know how that worked out. So I don't care. This is a nothing burger. And I would say if I would encourage you to also think of it as a nothing burger, because it really is. This is the most benign stuff that all teammates say about their teams, whether they're new teams or the same old team or whatever. So anyway, just one of those things on my mind. Just one of those things I thought I'd talk about. I'm going to try to do a lot more short ones like this and see how they go. Hope you enjoy them. Please don't hesitate to reach out through the YouTube channel, through Rumble, through the Facebook page. Email me direct, wayofthedadpodcast@gmail.com, and let me know what you think. I know the audio quality is not going to be as good on these particular types of episodes because just road noise, car noise. Got a little bit of a slightly loud exhaust on my car, so is what it is. But I'm trying to balance out the audio quality of these when I'm editing. But yep, let me know what you think. And quick little housekeeping. I know I posted it on the Facebook page. The Facebook is getting rid of podcasts being directly published onto their platform, which actually works out just fine. I was considering unpublishing the podcast on there anyway, because I don't feel like those posts got the kind of traction that a regular post, me just asking a random question or posting a meme or a GIF or whatever, would get. I always felt like they were almost harder to see those, and then you couldn't share, you couldn't promote a podcast episode. Like you can pay money for ads and promote them. You couldn't do that on there. You could do it on any regular post, but not a podcast post. So I'm going to be going ahead and eventually working through the back catalog, which is not that big yet, but 22 episodes, 23, 20. We're under 25 right now, depending on when this one comes out. But you're going to see me start to share the both the YouTube and the Rumble links, because that's where I really want to push the podcast, at least the Facebook traffic to either YouTube or Rumble. Take your pick, whichever one you like better. And that'll also help me to decide if I want to more primarily focus on one platform versus another. If Rumble takes off, maybe I'll go there a little more when I start doing live stream content, things like that. If it's YouTube, well, then I'll work on that one. But anyway, I appreciate you guys listening. I really want your feedback. Please tell me if I'm an absolute lunatic, if I've lost my mind and I'm the dumbest human being ever and I don't know anything about Bengals football. Feel free to go ahead and tell me. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'll sleep the same just fine, but I would love to hear your feedback. And so, until next time, take care and have a great day.
Thanks for listening. The Way of the Dad podcast is produced and recorded by, well, me, a stunningly average husband and father, who appreciates all of the likes, shares, reviews, and support you give. If you would like to reach out, you can find the podcast on its Facebook page, and of course you can email me at wayofthedadpodcast@gmail.com. Come back next time as we continue to fearlessly dive into the depths of dadness.